You're still in. Are you on Twitter?
I am.
Any? Who's on Allison's Twitter account?
You did, I saw.
Okay, stalkers. Okay. Laura, you have Twitter?
I do. Van Deekins 22.
Okay.
Yep.
Guys, pull those. We have Wi-Fi in here. Get it. John, are you Twitterfied?
I don't know how to Twitter.
You.
So if
He doesn't
somebody
need
showed
Twitter.
me, I'll be on Twitter, but other than that,
Excellent. Okay, let's get on to our questions. Let's go ahead and start on the right side. Sir, do you have a question for anyone? I think adjust the mic as you need be.
Yes. First, let me just take a quick selfie. Thank you. A comment and then a question. First, a comment. The Blu-ray Smallville 10-year anniversary deal, that big package deal, is it ever going to go down because no one would buy it for my wedding registry and I was very upset? That's actually a question, too. But no, for Allison, when they made you into a comic book character, the Chloe character, how did that feel? And now that it's continuing on, how does it feel to see yourself in comics still?
It's very cool. I mean, it was unexpected, but it was awesome. I mean, the idea that like she goes down in history with the likeness of me is really, it was a privilege, and it wasn't something that I expected. So it was a very cool surprise. I don't even remember how I heard about it. It was like through the grapevine. They were like, oh yeah, DC's now using Chloe as like a part of their, package of heroes. And I was like, wow, that's cool. So yeah, it's neat.
So, sir, for your children, you can go ahead and buy the DVD. Now you can buy the comic and history.
And I don't know if the cost is going down. We don't have a lot of stake in that.
It would be really cool if you did.
Sorry.
Also, I invited you to my wedding, and I never heard an RSVP, so just saying.
Move along, sir. That was cool. Sir, you have a question on that side?
Yes, actually mine was kind of piggybacking off of his. I follow the comics. I love their portrayal of all of you guys as characters, especially Chloe. Chloe's starting to have powers now, or hinted anyways. I was wondering how you guys felt of, each of you, how you felt about your portrayal in the comics, or if you even know of how they portray you guys in the comics.
Like the season 11 Smallville
Yeah, season
comics?
11 and how it's been continuing for the past 2 years, I believe.
I'm not super familiar with the storyline. I don't really know what they're up to. I see the comics when I'm here because people bring them to have us sign, which is very cool. But to be honest, I'm not super in touch with like Chloe or Smallville in my day-to-day life. It was, a wonderful part of my life, and when I come, I get to have the nostalgia of reliving it with everybody here. But I don't focus on that as much as I used to.
I haven't seen them. I know of them, but I actually haven't seen them yet. So that would actually, anyone have any here? No?
I'm sure there's somewhere downstairs in the dealer's room. I'm sure you'll be able to find it.
I haven't seen them either. Are they cool?
They're a good read. It's a
Yeah.
really good read.
It's nice that the show continues.
The
like
stuff
you're
that
talking
the stuff that they said they wouldn't do in the show, they did in the comic. Thank you.
Sure.
Thank you.
Alrighty. You have a question, sir? Yes, sir. All right. You're our first-time MegaCon attendee, and you're from Puerto Rico as well, right?
My family's I was born here in Florida. My
Oh.
family's from Puerto Rico.
And your first time at MegaCon?
Yes, sir.
Shame. All right.
Woo, I just jazzed.
Hi.
Hi. First, let me say you're both absolutely out of this world gorgeous.
What about me?
I hear you're handsome too from the ladies, but I like girls.
I understand.
And wow. Okay. And you guys, besides of course Clark Kent and Lois Lane, are my most favorite characters on the whole show. And I loved all the episodes that had Supergirl.
Well, you do like Chloe and Kara as well, right? Let's get this straight.
Yes.
You said Lois Lane.
Yes.
Never mind.
Well, I remember Erica Durant says hello. She texted this morning and said to say hello. Talking about Lois.
You must have not heard me. I said they are my second favorite, besides obviously Superman and Lois Lane. Need to listen
I
a little
stand
better.
corrected.
And I love all the episodes with, with Supergirl in it. And Chloe is such an integral part of the whole show. You were there from the very beginning, best friends with them since middle school, and then throughout the whole show, confidant, best friend, sidekick, own hero, and her own right as Watchtower, kicking serious butt. I mean, it's just like, wow. You just, the bomb, just all of this world. And all of you, did such a great job. And my question was, yes, I talk a lot. It's a family trait. My question was, when the last episode or something, I'm not sure exactly, but it opens up where you was your kid and you're reading the comic there. I'm not sure if you know or not, because I'm not sure if they wrote it down, but I was wondering, does Clark get to visit your kid? Do you guys stay in contact? Because you just didn't go to you weren't going to the wedding, and you sent Lois something blue by mail, in the actual episode.
Well, what do you think?
That's a very good question. I think you guys would stay. I think you guys would stay in contact because you guys are family. But maybe you guys have to not be together so much to give away, because everybody knows who Green Arrow is, and so they don't know who that Clark Kent is, actually Superman or something like that. But how do they have a comic that looks just like Clark Kent with him in it, and not giving away that he's Superman? Because exactly the same thing you see there. I mean,
All righty.
how they do that?
You're good. Stand by, son. Did you understand the question, Allison?
I don't have the answer,
Oh, you don't have
but
the
I
answer?
like your answer. So I think you should stick with what you think.
Okay.
Thank you for the enthusiasm.
Oh, you're welcome.
Thank you, sir. You were very entertaining to us. I really appreciate it. You did good. We gave you the proper respect. Good job. All righty. Next on this side.
Hi.
You can pull that.
I am very small.
No, just rotate it down. Pull it. There you go.
Hi. Okay, one of the things I loved is it seems like each character always had a chance to be the heart of the show, whether it was when you were channeling Jarrell and totally changing, and Chloe, like every episode, you were the heart of the show. But my question is really about what was it like to see her evolution more than anything else, going from just being his friend to Watchtower, Brainiac, whatever and everything that she went through, and how much advance notice did you have to prepare for those transitions?
Yeah, it was awesome. I mean, I think that's the best part about not being like the one that he loved, is you can be the one that everything else is with, like I got to be flawed, I got to struggle, I got to succeed, I got to be a hero, I got to be a villain, I got to do all of these sorts of things. So my character was really such a lovely patchwork quilt of so many different areas of, I guess, human evolution. And that was a real privilege. And then also, because we did it for 10 years, I mean, one thing that is a benefit of being on the show for so long is that you had the opportunity to go through a full evolution with someone, And so as I changed, Chloe changed. And as Chloe changed, she influenced me as a person. And we kind of did this sort of symbiotic dance of growth together, which was really beautiful. So I'm very proud of her. And I'm very proud of what she went through as a character and where she ended up. And I love the fact that I was a badass superhero.
Did they ever spring it on you? Did you get enough, like, I've acted before as well, but do you get enough, like, time to prepare for those big changes? Is it just like script to script, or do they go, okay, guess what? You're actually going to be channeling Brainiac for like 10 episodes, so we need to see that gradually change.
No, it's pretty script to script. I mean, we were running gunning it. They would have like a good overarch of an idea of what they wanted to do every season, but in general, we played a lot with the fans and like what the fans liked and what the fans wanted, and so there were things that changed, and the storyline between Oliver Queen and I didn't exist until we did a scene together where we had chemistry, and they were like, oh, that's interesting, and then all of a sudden it like spun off into a whole thing. Yeah, so that's the one thing about TV, is that unlike theater, you don't have a lot of rehearsal time or prep time. You kind of just throw yourself in and make do with what you have. So yeah, no, we didn't have tons and tons of time to develop.
You guys did an amazing job, and I loved every episode.
Thank you.
Touch on that a little bit. It's interesting, you did mention Oliver Queen, and we had mentioned this earlier on before you guys came in, of the segueing of Oliver Queen into the new series of Arrow and the connections, in fact, with our guests. It seems to me that, and this might be a little bad to say, but Marvel's been doing very well in terms of their motion picture franchises. But DC has been doing extremely well in their television series franchises, I think. And I mean, it's probably a much larger audience, in my opinion, on television than there would be in the motion pictures. So it's nice that DC is still keeping up with the tradition of their characters and a lot of the characters that spun off from your series and so on and so on. So it's really interesting to see that you guys are not forgotten, that you guys have basically started the groundwork to, you know, propel into further series on television, and hope to see you guys in motion pictures soon as well. And we are on this side of the room. Hi.
Hi, how are you?
Good. Hi.
My question's actually for Laura. I am a huge fan of yours from Instant Star. I'm probably the
Thank
only
you.
one who is in a Smallville panel, I'm sorry. But I'm sure.
There you go. I could still hear you.
Okay, so my question is, other than your fan base popularity from the show, what did you like doing better, Smallville or Instant Star? And were you jealous of Instant Star because Alex was the main one?
I don't know if I can answer that politically correct, but I can put it this way. Instant Star was training ground for me. And it was Canadian, it was in my hometown. I love Alex Johnson, she's an incredible artist, and she's still recording, and we're still in touch, and we're friends. But I was rather excited when Smallville came about, and I actually did both at the same time for the first season, season 7. So I went back and forth, and Instant Star was very happy for me, and they allowed me to do Smallville. And it was just a very different character from playing Sadie, who was just a jealous sister, going into playing a superhero and having very dramatic scenes and stunt work. So I was more challenged on Smallville, and I got to meet these incredible people. But Instant Star was where it started for me, so they're very different experiences.
Awesome, thank you.
Thank you for watching.
All right, who do we have on this side of the room? Hello.
Hi, I actually had a funny story for Laura. The first time my daughter saw you, the first time she saw you as Supergirl, she said, "Oh my gosh, her hair!"
It's all gone now.
I know, and then she goes, "I want hair like that someday."
Oh,
And
hi.
I had to share that with you because I just thought it was the cutest thing ever.
What's her name?
Her name is Miriam.
Hi, I like your costume.
She says, "You're the reason why I have this costume," because shortly after we saw you, we saw that in the store, and she wouldn't let go.
Oh, well, it's adorable. How old is she?
She just turned 3 in December.
Okay. So
But
when did you start watching the series?
Oh, I've been watching since it started, and I watch it pretty much every day because it's on. I did have a question, actually. I'm actually writing a paper on cultural diversity, and I was wondering if you guys could tell me how you feel about going to conventions.
That's actually a very good question. We always get questions about your careers and your stardom on certain series, but in terms of what you're doing now, how do you feel about, and how many have you done, each of you, if you remember?
This is my second.
This is your second ever convention? Wow, fantastic.
Yeah, I'm a newbie, and I'm fascinated. I went to one in Atlanta. What was that called?
Dragon Con.
Dragon Con.
Yes.
I was at Dragon Con, and I had the best time, and I'm expecting to have a good time here at this one too. But that's up to you all, I guess, right? Yeah.
Oh, it's an animal of its own. You will definitely see. How about you, Laura? I've seen you at a few. How many have you done, and what do you think about them?
I don't know how many I've done. I started doing them after the first episode of season 7. They threw me into Comic-Con. So that was my first experience. It's great. I love you guys, and you're the reason, that we keep working, and you're so devoted, and I love getting to chat with you when you're coming over to get an autograph. I get in trouble, but I try to talk to everybody. I just want to know why you're here and what you like about this world and about Smallville. So I've done a few, both big and small, and they're all great because it's all the devoted fans.
Fantastic. Allison?
Yeah, I think I've done like 7, something like that. And I love it. You know, I think we were so isolated in Vancouver. We really didn't have a sense of the impact that we made and the success that we had created. And so coming here and being with everybody, we really get to feel like the impact of the work that we did, which is always satisfying. It was wonderful.
Yeah, I've heard that from a lot of actors that they have no idea how their show is doing, other than what their top bean counters up say. Oh, you're doing great in the ratings. But in terms of this gathering, this is what we're all here for. Pretty much to appreciate you. We've come to honor you and what you've given back to us. This is the result of it. And John, for you, you're going to see a lot more. This being day one of what's going to be a massively incredible day. And I'm also an MC at DragonCon as well. So you know how DragonCon is. You'll get the same effect here. So good to see all of you here.
Terrific.
Alrighty.
Thanks for your question.
Yeah. You look good, young lady, Supergirl, with the Disney ears on. She's so cute. How you doing, dude?
Good. First of all, it's awesome to see all of you. Allison, my wife, has got to work today. She's so mad that she has to work this whole weekend because the only reason why she wanted to come was because of you. Because we dressed up as Clark and you for Halloween one year. And she loves you. And to the rest of you, I'm also wearing my Smallville Limited shirt. Laura, Bitten is a good show, so I hope you get renewed. I like it a lot.
Yeah, we worked hard. So.
Yeah, the storyline's awesome. It's a good show. I watch it.
We just watched the finale. I have the DVD, and if you're a fan of the show, oh my God.
The finale, yeah, it's a good show.
It's
so I
dramatic.
I hope many years with that for you.
Thank you.
When does the finale air, or has it aired?
The first season?
Yeah.
Or we're on episode 10 is coming up this week. We did 13. So, yeah, if you haven't started, start now.
That's about a month out, if not more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And John, your character was just phenomenal, how you could switch back and forth from evil, good, and it was a delight to see you on the show. So
Thank you. I had a great time on that show.
yes.
Yeah, let me, if I could,
Go
dwell
ahead.
a little bit
No.
on that. I don't
No,
think
go ahead.
in the comics, and guys, correct me, please, I don't think we knew Lex's dad. Am I right on that?
No.
Right.
No, Lex's dad was basically created for Smallville, correct?
Yes.
What kind of instruction, what kind of history, what kind of background did they inflect on you to portray the character that you portrayed in Smallville? What exactly, that you're the father of the most evilest bald guy in the world? What did they tell you?
Not much, but it was very nice because there was it freed us all up, so Lionel could be anything. There were no restrictions on him. All I knew was that I should be the reason why my son was so messed up.
I think that's a better reason than what we've gotten in the comics. I mean,
Yeah.
just because he went bald, you destroyed my life, I'm going to be evil. I want to shave my head someday. It's not going to make me nasty. But yeah, definitely parental guidance here.
Yes, and I tried to see it as a point of view that my son was weak, and the only reason I gave him shock treatment was to try to make him a stronger man. So I just kept pouring more love into him. More love.
If I could ask, John, do you have any children?
No. Thank God.
Yeah, I was about to say, it's probably a good thing.
And I just have one last question. Do you folks know of, or would you possibly think of doing like a reunion movie show?
A movie show, series mini,
Yeah.
featurette.
You know, they're doing it
thing.
with 24. Why not?
I don't know. It would be nice to get the gang back together again. I miss everybody.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, and how would you feel about, if they did make do a reunion show, them being in costume or not? Did you like them kind of staying a little further away from the costuming to portray Smallville, I guess, the way it probably should be? Or would you have rather seen Clark in full regalia as, you know who? Kind of like it? It would change it, someone said. Yeah. Yeah, you're absolutely right. How
I
do you
loved
guys
our
feel?
designers. I think that they were wonderful, and they had such an interesting take and spin on the superheroes' costumes. Everyone from like Cyborg to the Flash to the Green Arrow to Clark Kent to the Blur. Like, I think they gave us a feel for the costumes without making us caricatures, which I think was probably very challenging to do. But I thought they accomplished it well. So I don't know if we didn't have costumes. I think we had our own version of the costumes.
Yeah, I was happy not to have a cape, although it would have been exciting. That we just, no skirt, no. Even the little jean shorts had to be burned after a couple episodes. Didn't want to wear those. I'm glad I wasn't put in the full costume. Just makes them more real and more human, and it's, it's previous to them being the superheroes that we know and love in the comics. So had I had the S and the cape and the skirt, I think not only would it have been more of a typecasting for the actors because they're sort of stuck being seen that way, but I just thought it made them more human. She was a young teenage girl. She was on the planet for the first time, and she wanted to fit in, so she wore jean shorts.
I think you're absolutely right. It's more realistic. I think when I heard the first X-Men movie was going to hit the screens, and I said, they all wore spandex, and they're going to do a real... And then you see them, and they all basically came out in leather jumpsuits, and they were pretty... I would wear that. I think that...
Do you have a leather jumpsuit?
No, but I do have spandex, and yeah, anyway, getting back...
What color?
So, when superheroes... I think, in all honesty, if Laura... What color? Anyway, if Supergirl had actually plopped down in the middle of the street in front of me, dressed in traditional costumes, shorts, spandex, whatever, and things like that, I think the first thing I would do is laugh. I think I would probably laugh first rather than saying, holy, how'd you do that? It was, you need to get some... No, don't get any clothes on. But anyway... Yeah, so John, your costuming, which is all suits, basically, was...
I kept asking for a cape, but they wouldn't give me one. I could have had the jean shorts, yes.
Well...
They saw me in them and said no. They did give them to me, but they nixed them.
Okay, ma'am, hi. Oh, hi, Zan.
Oh, hi.
Hi, sweetheart.
How you doing? Lauren, I just wanted to say I've really been enjoying Bitten. And,
Thank you.
John, I was at... My most recent convention I went to was Dragon Con, which you just said was your first convention. You were great there, and feel free to keep following me. I'm fine with that.
Okay.
And my question was for all three of you. Allison, you talked a little bit about in your personal time you're doing some writing, so I was wondering if each of you could just talk briefly about your personal creative outlets as opposed to the professional ones.
Excellent question.
Okay, yeah, I write. I do a lot of writing, and I've just started. I went through a period where I was writing a lot on my blog, and then I stopped for a bit, and now I've just started up again. So I write a lot of poetry, and I'm writing a lot of articles. I just wrote an article actually about John Glover that's up on my blog right now. So that's a big outlet for me. I like it. I'm proud of the article. So check it out if you like it. And then and I also sing. I've been singing a lot recently.
Oh,
Yeah.
She sings like you could not believe. It just comes out of her. It's amazing.
I'm singing with a jazz guitar player. It's just he and I right now. Yeah.
What
yeah.
kind of songs do you sing?
Jazz and blues.
Standards kind of thing?
Yeah, some standards and some singing like the covers and things like that.
Yeah?
And stuff. Yeah.
Allison, I don't want to put you on the spot right now, but
I was gonna do it too.
do you want to stand right here and belt out a few tunes a little bit? I'm sure you're not shy in front of an audience to sing. Don't ask me to sing, they'll leave.
But she doesn't have her guitarist.
I'm a guitar player.
You need a guitar player?
Okay. Don't you go wasting all your money on syrup and honey, because I'm sweet enough. Listen to me. 1, 2, 3. Oh, baby, 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 spend your time on me.
Ladies and gentlemen, the sultry Allison Mack. OMG! Exclamation, exclamation. Holy crap. I mean, it's not crap. I mean, wow. What? That was amazing. Mr. Puerto Rico says that's amazing. Wow. Wow. John, do you have any comment on that?
Well, see, I told you, she's a genius. Yeah. Were you going to have an album out soon?
Yeah, well, not soon, but yes.
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 Do you
Okay.
have a title
Yes.
for it yet?
I'm sorry?
A title?
No,
No.
it's new. I mean, this is all very new. The 3 years that I've taken out of Smallville have been 3 years of some pretty serious soul searching and just kind of trying to reorganize my thoughts, figure out where I want to go next. And music has become a huge part of my life. Writing has become a huge part of my life. And I'm kind of in a university of life, sort of gestating and trying to figure out what I want to do. And some things are coming together, so it should be an exciting year.
I'm sorry, I just caught my mouth still open, but you are definitely on the right track. Oh my God. That was amazing, and I'm a big jazz lover, so that was. Laura?
She's amazing.
No. Do you have any musical talents, or John? Do you have?
No.
John sings like Doris
I
Day.
sing off key, but I don't even know it, so it's really.
We'll accept off key.
Oh, no.
I think in the shower, everyone sounds amazing to themselves.
Yeah.
So that's where I'll keep singing.
Wow. Zan, did that answer your question, or did you need more?
Yes, thank you. And Mark, these are for you. Look at the flowers.
Flowers? I'll wear them in my hair. Yeah, okay. All right. Thank you, dear. Good seeing you. Wow. Okay. You have a question? I'm still reeling over the voice here. Wow.
Allison, you had a lot of chemistry with a lot of the characters on Smallville. Clark was briefly interested in you. There was Pete Ross. There was Doomsday. There was Oliver Queen.
I got around.
I mean, you were a lovable character. I can see why so many different guys fell in love with you. But which one did you feel that you had the most chemistry with?
That was with Lionel, she did, I think.
Always.
She understood him in a way that no one else did.
You know, torturing your parents and stuff.
That's the answer.
You okay? You okay, sir?
No, I think it's a good answer.
Yeah, okay. That's a good answer.
Write the new fanfic for that.
All right, he's going to write a fanfic on that. He's not walking away disappointed.
He's going to write some fan fiction about that.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I'm going to have to educate you on Slash one day. Well, most of you guys know what I'm talking about, right? Yeah. Bad, no. Bad thing, bad idea. Okay. We have a question over here on this side, sir. Laura, you don't know what Slash is.
Yeah. You do? No.
What is it?
I do want to know.
She sings beautifully.
Okay, moving
Really?
on.
Go ahead, sir.
First of all three of you are very talented. I loved all three of you on the show. Fabulous. I have two quick questions. Chloe, Allison. So, first question is, I loved how your character was created for the show and now lives on in the comics. Was there at any time during the life of the show that your character was at risk of being written off, or they weren't sure?
Yeah, I mean, I think, well, I don't know, because I wasn't in the writer's room, but I know for the first 3 years of the show, Sam Jones and I used to have a joke where we were like, don't close your eyes if they hit you, because we figured if they hit us and we kept our eyes open, then we couldn't be thought of as dead, at the end of the next season. Because we were, both Sam and I were sort of ancillary characters in some way. But once they killed me like 3 times. I died and came back and died and came back. Once I knew the secret, I knew that I was good to go. But the first 5 seasons were pretty tenuous. I wasn't super sure. So it was good. It kept me on my toes. I worked hard to make sure that I was not replaceable.
I think we're all glad that they kept you.
Thank you.
All right, I'm going to ask a standard question that's asked at most conventions, and usually the answers are a little on the end here. if you could ask, and I'm sorry if I'm stealing anyone's question out here right now, who was your favorite individual to work with on Smallville, whether it was a guest star or whether it was a regular? Who did you enjoy thoroughly and why?
John Glover.
Slash, okay.
No, John is, I mean, you don't have to listen, but John's one of my dearest, dearest friends and one of the greatest influences in my life and in my career. He's an amazing human being. So the fact that you all get to be here with him is like, you have no idea. And so anytime I got to work with John, it was a privilege. He's just brings such wisdom and life to anywhere he goes.
Wow, I love that. Good job. Well, John, we obviously know what your answer is going to be, so I'll go to Laura.
Do you want to go ahead?
Allison, of course.
You don't have to say it.
Of course I didn't, because we had a great time. But also I started, I wooed Martha. So Annette and I had a terrific time together because I got to play with her a lot. And we...
Yeah,
that's what
we
call
know
it.
that.
Yes. And then, of course, there's Michael, who's... And Michael was going to be here today. He was so looking forward to being here today, this weekend, but he got a job. So he hopes you understand why he's not here. But Michael's unique. Yeah. He's just amazing. Yeah. Okay.
Well, you guys had some excellent one-on-ones in terms of screen time in Smallville.
Yeah,
very
right.
intense, very heavy, very detailed. Father, son, I hate you back. No, I love you back. And that was really interesting to see in terms of the level of your acting, where you took it, and that was impressive. Laura, anyone who you can come to mind?
I'd love to say Marsters. Yeah.
Who is here this
I thought
weekend?
he was
That would be
here. I
James
saw him at
Marsters.
the airport. I did stalk him at the airport for a second. No, he's such a talented man, and I was in awe of working with him. And then when I got to play him, when he inhabited me, that sounds really wrong. It was fun. It was a challenge trying to get down his mannerisms, and he's just a lot of fun to work with. You never know what to expect. He's just very unique and talented.
And Tom. I mean, we never say
Obviously,
Tom because I think Tom was such a figurehead and such like a central point of the show. It's sort of like, you're obviously, but Tom has like the most blue collar work ethic as far as just like he shows up, he's always prepared, he always has his best foot forward, he's always in a good mood. Like he was a very consistent, solid lead for our show. And I think a big part of why we were so successful was because of Tom and his attitude. So I want to make sure that he doesn't go unmentioned because he was really a strong leader for us.
And he's also a wonderful director.
Great director.
Yes, he started directing episodes. And
out of the
was
gate.
Wonderful. Yeah.
Yeah, when I first joined the cast, it was terrifying because they had been together for 7 years. And I'm the new kid at school.
We were really mean.
They were so mean. They'd like pull my chair out when I went to sit down. And like you said, Tom was just really welcoming, and he could tell I was terrified, and he went through everything with me, right down to how superheroes stand. And we had a little Kryptonian session on how the kryptonite affects you and how to react, and he was just really understanding of me and trying to be a part of that world and very welcoming, and he was just so much fun to work with. We'd laugh all the time during our scenes. So it was great fun.
Yeah, we'll get him one year. We'll definitely get you guys back here and get Tom here. And like you said before, sorry Michael couldn't be here, but his Justin. Oh yeah. Okay, well, whatever. Anyway, I'm looking for women too. So if you can think of any, thank you very much. Other than he's gorgeous. But Allison, you had a love interest as well on the show, who was also a guest who I think got a job, and the reason why Aaron. Yeah,
Aaron.
Yeah,
so good.
How did the romance, I don't know, I think some of you guys probably felt that maybe Clark and Chloe should have gotten together. I think Chloe was probably a little disappointed that it was Laura, and I don't know, it kind of got weird there. But then Jimmy came into the scene, which kind of blindsided me. I said, well, I guess he's got to date somebody. So not saying it had to be Allison, but the fact that everyone seems to be getting hooked up with everyone else, you got hooked up with Jimmy, what did you see that going any further than how it eventually ended, or?
I mean, I think one of the things that was so cool about the fact that I was an import onto the show is that they could use me to bridge the gap between our version of the story and the actual story. So the fact that I was Lois Lane's cousin, I was the one that introduced Clark to journalism, and I was the one that brought Jimmy Olsen in. I loved that. I think that that was such a cool use of my character and the fact that I was a kind of a child of Smallville. And I think that Jimmy was perfect for Chloe at that time in her life. They were both like these eager, giddy kind of, almost like kids, you know? And so I thought, and Aaron Ashmore is just like a delightful human being he's awesome, and he did great. So I loved it. And I loved the fact that I wasn't pining over Clark anymore.
Right. Yeah, I agree. You kind of did great on that. Uh-oh. Hi. Stand by. I'm going to let you use mine. Stand up. Let me see how tall you are. Yeah, let's not do that. Okay, here we go. Hold my mic. You have a question?
What was the first movie you made?
Hi.
You're doing good. You're doing good. We ask questions all the time.
What was the first movie you made?
Which one are you asking? All of them? Okay. Did you
First movie?
What was the first movie we made?
Yeah, the first movie you ever made.
Ever in life. I made a movie with my best friend when I was 4. No, I'm just kidding. I did, actually, but no. You know, I've been acting my whole life. So I did my first job on camera was when I was 4 years old. I did a commercial for German chocolate.
I like to sing too.
What?
I like to sing too.
Do you? That's great. Practice, practice, practice. Do you want to know what movies Laura and John were in first?
She's done.
Oh, you did good.
Thank you.
Awesome. It's so cute. Good job. Hi.
Hi, I don't know how I'm gonna top that, but first off, I'm a huge fan. This is like the coolest thing ever. But my question's actually for John. I was wondering what it was like to go from playing, you know, that evil version, that villain so important to the show and to Lex's past, and then moving on forward and becoming like this almost father-like figure for Clark.
Well, that was one of the things that was so great about the show is that people, they would, well, I was making jokes about the love and everything, you know, giving him shock treatment, but I was serious about it too. And the writers saw that and kind of picked up on that. So it was nice to play a human being and not just be a villain. And I could tell it was working because there were several people who stopped me on the street and said, "We can't figure this out. Are you a good guy or a bad guy?" So I thought, oh, it's working. It's working. What I'm doing is working. So, you know, thank you.
Thank you.
Excellent. Who do we have over here? How you doing, buddy? Uh-oh, you get stuck?
Hi, yeah. My question is for all three of you. How did you get your inspiration to be your characters? Because I know, like, you guys weren't, like, Allison and John, you guys weren't originally in the comics, but how did you get your inspiration to be as fantastic as you were?
Whoa. Wow, what an interesting question. It just, I guess it's the actor's imagination. I would see a script and try to flesh it out, like I was saying to, what's your name? What was her name?
She sat back down. She's back
that
there.
very nice lady there. That I was trying to make him as human as possible. So, I mean, so I would, gee.
Ladies and
I don't
gentlemen,
know.
the stumped John Glover.
You have stumped me, completely stumped me. I don't know.
I'm not saying anything, but, like, your dad wasn't, like, using shock treatment on you, was he?
No, well, I was very surprised when I saw that episode where I gave him shock treatment. I thought, oh boy, what do I do with this? So,
You know, his question is very interesting because he's asking, where do you get your inspiration? Is there anyone that you could probably thought in your mind to emulate to bring about the execution of what you saw in the script? If you can't come up with something on your own.
I mean, very early on, I mean, even the pilot that I was in a couple of scenes in the pilot, and they said they might have this character back. So, but in the pilot, I saw my son was weak and he needed strength. So and I got this idea from the very beginning. So I think that's how I approached it.
But you didn't draw it from any past experiences, whether it was your own personal experiences or something you've read about, heard about in the past. How do you bring that up from the gut to
That's what we do. I mean,
Ladies and gentlemen, we have professionals up here on the stage, whereas you and I might have difficulty doing that. It's so simple for them to do. It's second nature. I'm impressed. Wow. Did you want the rest of them to answer?
Yes, please.
Lauren or Allison?
I wanted to Allison and John because they
No,
weren't.
all three of you guys.
I mean, I was existing in the comics before I was existing as Supergirl. So I had watched the show growing up. I was already a fan. I was very aware of these guys and their talent in the show and how it would come across. And then I honestly, don't get upset, didn't know Supergirl existed, didn't know her relation to Clark, so did some research, went out for the audition, so on and so forth. But the material was there for me, and I just wanted to make her as human as possible, similar to what John said. I didn't want her to be this sort of mythical superhero. I wanted people to relate it. She has flaws. She's troubled, and she's finding her way. So I just sort of related myself to being new on the show and on the cast, and Supergirl was new on the planet. And that pretty much felt the same to me. So I just used what I was feeling new in Vancouver and living on my own for the first time and being terrified but trying to act like everything's fine and you know what you're doing. Which is what I was doing on the show. So it was very parallel to what she was going through.
Well, with Tom being Clark and being an alien who obviously had to become, very humanized, did he give you any pointers, any ideas since he's been on the show? He started with the show, you came in on 7.
Yeah, not necessarily about the character herself. When he directed me, he would, but just the physicality of being a superhero. He was just explaining to me, camera angles and how they make us look larger than life and how to stand strong and do wire work, exactly. But in terms of Kara, no, I was a terrified new girl on the show, and Kara was a terrified new girl on the planet who was trying to hide her fears. So I just went with that.
So really quick though, like you said that you were new to the show and you were watching the show before. Like honestly, were you fangirling a bit when you were seeing all the actors and stuff?
There may have been a little fangirling with Tom for like a second.
Dude, I fangirl with
I
Tom.
know.
Like, who doesn't fangirl
But
with Tom?
I'm playing his cousin, so that had to stop. I'm related, so no. Other than that, I was just so excited to be around these guys. I mean, I watched just like you guys did, so it was very, very cool.
Yeah, I think Allison, the same question, right? Inspiration,
Yes.
You want?
Yeah, I mean, I think that it's the job of the actor to embody the character. And I think, like John Lennon, I think, said, we all have the devil and Jesus in us. I think we all have the capacity to do great things, and we all have the capacity to do awful things, and it takes a certain amount of humility to be willing to explore both sides. And I think the actor has permission to do that and get paid. And so you kind of like date the character that you're playing, and you think about them, and like when you think about buying a present for somebody, do you think about them and try on what you think it would feel like to be them, what they might want, what it would feel like to receive that? That's sort of what it's like to play a character. You take the script and you kind of try that person on in your experience and live with them as them until eventually you become them. And then when you do it for so long, it's hard. It becomes sort of seamless. It's hard to see where it ends and you begin in some ways. that I think is, is that an answer?
Yeah.
It's good.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
All right, we have a time for probably a couple more questions before we allow these folks. You guys are coming straight in from the hotel. You haven't been down to your tables yet, so we're going to make sure that before we end this, that you know that they will be at their tables.
Yeah, I think we're going to a photo op next, and then we go to tables.
Okay, you'll be at the photo op. Do you know what the time of your photo op was? You don't? Okay.
3:10.
3:10.
Yeah, it's a good idea if we, go ahead and make probably that one. Go ahead.
Hi. So my brother and my sister-in-law actually got me into the show. I was raised overseas, so we couldn't watch TV ever. So when I got back about 3 years ago, after it ended, I got all of the seasons and I watched them in like a month, I think. Jesus. Yeah, I didn't sleep at all. So I was just wondering if you could say hi to my brother real quick. Hi.
What's his name?
His name's Raymond and his wife is Sarah.
Hi, Raymond. Hi, Sarah.
Sarah, hello.
So my question was, you guys spent 10 years, or you came in on season 7, but you spent so much time developing and trying on and becoming your character. How did you just end that and try and switch to a different character? Because I know that you don't become that person, but how did you go from Lionel Luthor to, an everyday, just regular person while trying to remember that, you have to love, hate your son, Like, did you guys have any trouble with getting rid of the show when you got home? No, it was just really simple.
John, she's asking if you had regained your humanity after you left the set.
You'd seriously terrified me like the whole show.
Really?
Yeah.
We have to talk.
Honestly terrified.
No, but I could let him go. When I got back to the hotel and went out for dinner. Yeah.
So it's just like easy to just throw on those clothes and become that character and then just walk out?
Well, but we'd go crazy if we didn't. So I think you learn how to do that and go on. Yes, and she agrees. Yes.
All right, that's all.
Do you all agree?
Yeah.
But you guys going to go ahead and respond to that last question right there, and we're going to go ahead and wrap up.
I think John covered it. I think that you're influenced and affected by the people that you play, just like we influence and affect each other. It's just another relationship that you have in your life, but it's not hard to, I think, separate yourself from your, if you're a waitress, you don't go home and catch yourself serving your family. It's a job, and you end, and then you begin your life, so.
And you, Laura?
I agree with both of them. There are days where you'd have a very heavy scene and you're thinking about it before and after a little bit, but again, you have to have your life. You have to go out to dinner. You can't let it take every bit of you. But I'd say for me, there was a few scenes that I couldn't shake for a couple hours after work. Then you let it go. It's the job.
Well, it's interesting. So just so you guys know, John doesn't go out and give anybody any electroshock therapy. Laura's not standing in the middle of public traffic trying to stop a bus coming your way. And Chloe's not hacking into your computer. So without any further ado, this has been our Smallville panel. I hope you guys enjoyed Mr. John Glover, Ms. Laura Vandervoort, and the lovely Allison Mack. Thank you so much. This is your fans. Guys, if you're going down to your photo shoot, you might want to go down there, get in line. These folks will be at their table later for autograph signing. A little bit more conversation. Very, 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 very short conversations when you're at their tables. But other than that, thank you.